الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين لا سيما خاتم النبيين أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
صلى الله عليك يا مولانا يا أبا عبد الله، صلى الله عليك يا مولانا يا ابن رسول الله، صلى الله عليك يا مولانا يا باب نجاة الأمة. يا ليتنا كنا معكم فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. قال الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هن لباس لكم وأنتم لباس لهن آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
My deepest condolences to each and every single one of you on the martyrdom anniversary of the Master Sayyid Ashura, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. May Allah make us among those that will be with his grandson Imam al-Mahdi when he begins his uprising. And may he make us among those that will be always loyal to him and seeking to help him constantly and seeking martyrdom in his presence. My topic of discussion for today is going to be about popular and unpopular rights of women. As you know, today is Women's Day, which coincides with the day of Ashura. So inshallah for today we're going to give the theme of Ashura for this year, 2022. We're going to give it the theme of Lady Zainab. Before we start, make salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
If you are not familiar by now, you should be, if you're not. And this is my personal opinion. That's a disclaimer to say that this is my personal opinion. So next time, when you tell people, make sure that you said I said it, so that you don't get in trouble. It's my personal opinion. If you wish to disagree, bismillah, you can disagree. It's not a problem. And there are people who know. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
There are people who know though. And they know that personally I believe that the woman, the female gender is superior ontologically to the male gender. This is from various aspects. You can prove it in numerous ways. That the female gender is superior to the male gender. This is a Quranic reality. This is an Islamic reality. There are numerous proofs for this. And the same way as a black person is ontologically superior to all other races, a woman, the female gender is also ontologically superior to the male. This means, because now the question would be, okay, if that is the case, why is it that the Holy Prophet is higher in rank than Fatima to Zahra? Right? Valid question. That's not the theory. The theory is not that all women are superior to men. That's not the theory. The theory is that the ontological superiority belongs to a woman, belongs to the woman, belongs to the female gender. The superiority belongs to the female gender. You know? So, for instance, let me make an example. I belong to an organization. For instance, let's make an example. Don't take it wrong. Don't take it the wrong way. It's just an example. I belong to the organization, the EFF. And the EFF is a better organization than the ANC. It's just an example, theoretically. Don't take it the wrong way. Or we can make it the other way around. I belong to the ANC and the ANC is a better political party. Whichever way you want. Me being part of a better political party does not mean I am better than the person who is of another political party. Yes or right? Yeah. Right. So, we are basically saying that the gender that women belong to, their gender is superior. That's what we're saying. So when we say that black people are also superior, that's all we mean. That's all we mean. That's all we mean. So what we mean by that is that, for instance, the genetics of a black person are much stronger than that of a person who is not black. So the examples would be in athletics, in creativity, in art, in music, in entertainment. Who is dominating? Everything that requires a high level of intelligence or a high level of fitness, physical or mental or spiritual. Who are the best? Black people. Or what? But that does not mean that you can't get a white person or an Indian person or a yellow person or whatever to be better than a black person. What's this guy? Wilder? Who was fighting with, Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is white and the Wilder is black. But he got beaten how many times? 3 times or 2 times. You see? But he's white. So that's all we mean by superiority. So the same thing when I say, because I don't want you brothers to hate me and say that, hey, this guy, that Maulana that says that women are superior to us. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. So women are ontologically superior. It can be proven in a number of ways. But that's not the topic of my discussion. The topic of my discussion, as I said, is some of the unpopular and some of the popular rights of a woman, right? So I'll just make you one proof, inshallah, that women are superior, or that the female gender is superior. An example is, let's make an example with puberty. Which gender experiences puberty first? The female. That's one example. The other example is which gender. Obviously, if you experience puberty earlier, what does it mean? It means naturally your intellect is quicker than the one that's late. That's what it means. It means, so that's why a lot of people like saying that women are emotional. I don't believe that personally. If they were emotional, then their rational faculty, because isn't it, according to Islamic law and Islamic jurisprudence, when is a woman supposed to begin her prayer? When she's 9. You as a boy, when you're 14, doesn't Salah require some form of intellectual and rational capability? So how is it that she, at the age of 9, it requires her to perform prayers, and you at the age of 14, it only requires you at that time? So I don't believe that this whole, no, women are emotional, so therefore they don't think, no, I don't believe that personally. So, but if people disagree with you, just tell them that, no, Ali Nchinyane said it. And then I can debate them, inshallah. So, that's one example. The other example, so many examples, but there is a narration. There is a verse in the Quran, for instance, when it was revealed, ما جعل الله لرجل من جوفين في قلبه. Allah did not place ما جعل الله لرجل من قلبين في جوفه. Allah did not place 2 hearts in a man. You've seen this verse in the Quran before in Surah Al-Ahzab, right? I'm sure you've seen it. So when this verse was revealed, there was a man who was extremely intelligent and extremely knowledgeable. He was extremely knowledgeable. He claimed that he was more knowledgeable than everybody, if you read the tafsir. And when he said he is extremely knowledgeable, he said he has 2 hearts. I have 2 hearts. I'm so knowledgeable, I have 2 hearts. That's what he was saying. And then that verse of that chapter was revealed. Allah did not place two hearts in a man. But Allah has placed a heart, because the word used in the Quran is rajul, li rajulin, which means a man, meaning a masculine human being, a male human being. Right? So what does it mean about a woman? That's another example. Another example is a hadith. It's a hadith from the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's hadith al-Qudsi. The Holy Prophet says, Allah said in hadith al-Qudsi. Hadith al-Qudsi is the hadith where Allah speaks. So Allah says, I am Rahman and I am Rahim. Ana Rahman, Ana Rahim. Wa ana khalaqtu Rahim. I am Rahman and I am Rahim, and I created the Rahim. Rahim means, which means in Arabic what? Womb. I am Rahman, I am Rahim, and I created the womb. And I extracted the name of the womb from my name.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
So every single chapter of the Quran that begins with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, it begins with what? Energy of womb. Allah says Rahma. He derived that name from the name womb. Same derivative. Because there is no place better than the womb. You get free food. You get free food. It's a free restaurant. It's a toilet. They even wipe your buttocks. They wash you. You get everything there. And you don't work for it. But immediately when you come out, that's when the trouble begins. That's when it becomes difficult. So Allah says, no, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Every single chapter of the Quran has a feminine energy. Allah begins with feminine energy. There are many other examples. Do you want more examples? I'll just give you one, inshallah. صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Another example, okay, I'll just give you, this one is very short and very easy. The word Nisa in the Quran appears more than the word Rijal or Rajul in the Quran. The word Untha, female, in the Quran appears more than the word Dhakar in the Quran. Untha means female and Dhakar means male. A woman has an entire chapter in the Quran. Men don't have a single chapter in the Quran. Surah An-Nisa, chapter number 4. Yeah, there are many other examples. I think those will suffice. But inshallah, for another time, maybe we will dwell in other arguments of the Quran. So these arguments are all in the Quran. By the way, before I go into the topic, the main topic, this isn't only unique to Islam. It is actually unique. It is actually something that was common in all civilizations of the world. All civilizations of the world believe that a woman is superior, by the way. Did you know that? In the English language, for instance, the word woman, woman. What does the word woman mean? Yes, members of the Nation of Islam, that's what they say. Members of the Nation of Islam, that's what they say. But man, what is the meaning of the word man? Does not mean a male human being. The word man just means a human being. That's the meaning of the word man. Woman means a special kind of a human being. What is the meaning of mankind? Does it only refer to males? Exactly. So a woman is a special kind of a man, a special kind of a human being. That's the meaning of the word woman. So the English, they understood this. So what about us as Africans? Did we understand this? Of course, of course, of course. In Zulu, what do you address your wife as? Nkosikazi. When you address your wife, you say Nkosikazi. But when she addresses her husband, what does she say? No. I'm talking about real Zulu, the real Nguni culture. What does she say? She says, Umyeni. What is the meaning of Umyeni? A visitor. Her name means queen. Every woman that is married is called a queen. But you as a man, you're not called queen, you're king. You're not a king. You have to, the proper and respect. In fact, in actual fact, by the way, if you ask real proper Zulu scholars, they say it is actually disrespect. Okay, yeah, you're somehow correct. Maybe you did not use the proper word, but the first right of a woman, or one of the rights that we all know, is financial independence. The right to financial independence. You as a man, you don't have such a thing called financial independence. Because all your money is dependent on other people. Your money is dependent on somebody else. So a woman's money is her money. But a man's money is not his money. Some of it is his child or his children, and some of it belongs to his wives or his wife. So that is the first thing. The first thing is financial independence. Islam says that a woman, it has to be financially independent. That means you don't touch her money. It's her money. And the first lady of Islam, what was she? She was an independently financial woman. She was a financially independent woman. The first lady of Islam, Lady Khadija, alayha salam. So all her wealth, of course, she spent it in the way of the Holy Prophet. She spent it dedicated to Islam and stuff like that. Sisters, take advice. So, financial independence. Her money is her money. Money is her money. A typical example is in the verse of the Holy Quran where Allah says, وَآتُوا النِّسَاءَ صَدَقَاتِهِنَّ نِحْلًا. And give the women their dowries freely, righteously. And then he says, and do not take from their money except if they allow. And then you can consume it as much as you want. But it's by her permission, it's by her consent. Your money is dependent on her money. So even mahar, it begins by mahar. It begins by mahar. Her mahar is her mahar. You can't even use her mahar. But inshallah we'll get to other points. That's the first one. The first right of a woman. The other right of a woman in Islam, which is also extremely important, and that is a personal identity. In Islam, a woman has a personal identity. She's not your property. So, if she's not your property, what does that mean? She can't take your surname. That's why she is called Khadija bint Khuwaylid. Khadija, the daughter of Khuwaylid. That's why she was called Khawla al-Hanafiya, the mother of Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiya. In fact, Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiya took his mother's surname. He took his mother's tribal name. So the identity of a woman is her identity. She can't take your surname. There's no such in Islam. She's not your property. Because the white man, when he came to Africa, what did he do? Or when he went all over where he went, what did he do? He gave property, he gave his name to whatever that was his. No, this is Smith. This is Johnson. This is Johnson's property. So if it's Johnson's property, what do? You take the surname of Johnson. In Islam, there's no such thing. And in Africa, in South Africa, we did not have such a thing, by the way. And that's why we have crazy, strange views around nowadays. Umfazwa. There's no such thing as Umfazwa. That's the proper way. Umfazwa. So, because now you say Umfazwa, I mean, now she's your property. So that is the second right that a woman has. I mean, in Surah Al-Ahzab, Allah says what? ادعوهم لآبائهم هو أقسط عند الله فإن لم تعلموا آباءهم فإخوانكم في الدين. Call them through the names of their fathers, or call them through their fathers, for surely that is more just in the eyes of Allah. And if you do not know their fathers, then your brothers in your faith. So then comes another point. It's becoming a little bit more unpopular now. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Okay, now when we come to the third right that a woman has, it is spousal wage. You know that a woman can actually receive wages, salary, for being your wife, according to Islamic law. If she demands it, no, you have to give her. No, I'm your wife. However, of course, not because she's your wife in jail. No, if she cleans, if she says that, look, I want wages for cooking, for cleaning, for taking care of your house, for being the nanny, and so on and so forth. She can demand the wages. She can demand the wages. Among those duties and responsibilities that she can demand wages for is what? Breastfeeding your own child. This is your child. Spousal wages. If you want the verse, it's in Surah Al-Talaq. When Allah says, askunuhunna haythu sakattum min wujdikum, and let them stay, where you find a place to stay, right? And then it says فَإِنْ يَرْضَعْنَا لَكُمْ فَآتُوهُنَّ أُجُورَهُنَّ, and if they breastfeed for you, then give them their wages. Spousal wages. So the fuqaha of Ahlul Bayt, I don't know about the ulama of Ahlul Sunnah, but the fuqaha of Ahlul Bayt says that no, even if she cleans, if she says that I'm going to clean, I want money. So you as a sister, you can actually demand that from your husband, that look, if you marry me, no problem. But however, I want a salary for cleaning, for cooking, for doing all of those things. If it's her house, yes, there's no need for you to pay her.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
If it's her house, then it's different. But if it's your house, she can actually demand and say that, no, I'm staying in your house. So I'm like a nanny here. So you need to give me nanny salary, 10,000 rands for cleaning, for cooking, for doing XYZ. The 10,000 is just an example, sisters. So make it easy for us.
Inshallah.
That's the third one. So I'm just trying to show you that actually, beloved brothers, this shows you respect and then the kind and the superiority of a woman. All of these things, they can actually from Allah. So inshallah, when you go back home, appreciate your wife. Make sajda and say, Ya Allah, thank you for love. She doesn't ask me to cook. She doesn't ask me to clean. She doesn't ask me money for this and this and that. Make sajda. Say, Ya Allah, thank you. I have an amazing wife.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
That is the third right of a woman that we need to know, and that women also need to know. You know, Marayano problem, sisters, you guys don't also make time to study the deen. Study the religion. If you actually knew what the religion says about you guys, you would actually give it, let's say, Islam. If you actually knew. But you know, obviously, they won't tell you when you can demand wages for 14. So naturally, the fourth right that is important for us to know is the right, subhanAllah, I don't know if some of you knew this, many of you probably didn't know this. A woman can actually divorce in Islamic law. This is in the Quran. Many of you, of course, didn't know this. Who didn't know this? If you didn't know this, make salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Alhamdulillah. In Islamic jurisprudence, there are two types of divorce. A man's divorce and a woman's divorce. Man's divorce is called talaq. But a woman's divorce is called khula. Now, talaq is when a man divorces. When you divorce, for instance, if you divorce your wife, whatever that she did, even if she committed adultery, for example, if your wife committed adultery, it's over, finished. I divorce you and then it's over, it's finished. right? But when a woman divorces, if a woman divorces, she has to say, for instance, that look, I want a divorce. This is how a woman divorces. If sisters, so if you want to divorce, this is what you do. You say that, look, your mahar was 1 million rands to me. So, for you to divorce me, I give you 50,000 rands. You as a man can say that, no, I don't accept. But if her mahar, if she decides to return all of the mahar, and she says that 1 million give, this was the mahar you gave me, right? So now here's your mahar, take it back. Then you have to accept. It's done, it's finished. In fact, not only don't you have to accept it, the divorce is done. According to Islamic jurisprudence, Islamic law. But if, say for instance, your mahar, even if your mahar, say your mahar was 10,000 rands, right? And then she says she wants a divorce. And then she says, I only have 2,000. And you accept, then the divorce is fine. It's fine. Whatever that she has to offer. So a woman can divorce. If you want the reference, it's in Surah An-Nisa, if I'm not mistaken. Allah says in the Quran, فَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ عَنْ لَا يُقِيمَ حُدُودَ اللَّهِ فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِمَا فِي مَا افْتَدَتْ بِهِ. And if you fear, meaning the people who fear, who are deliberating a particular marriage, if you fear that they won't act in accordance to the law, then there is no sin if she ransoms from it. From it means the dowry, the mahar. If she ransoms, meaning if she sacrifices, makes iftida, fi maftadat bihi. She decides that, look, I ransom this amount of money so that you might divorce. So a woman can divorce. So sisters, it's very important that you understand this law. But obviously, the fifth right that's also very important that I think that I was supposed to allocate. There are many other rights, but I just decided just to mention 6 of these rights. The fifth right is the right to marital maturity. I believe that this topic is very important. It's extremely important. Generally, we've been taught that when a woman is what age can you marry her? What have we been taught? What age must a woman be? Oh, mashallah, 8. This is the first time I'm hearing this one. First time I'm hearing this one. Generally, well, okay, well, this is what I was taught, 9, I get. And then our mother, Aisha, mother means we can't get married to her. That's the reason why she's called the mother of the believers. Because the believers couldn't get married to her. Not of any form of superiority and religious or spiritual superiority. No, it's got nothing to do with that. It just meant that, look, the mother or the wives of the Prophet are your mothers. You can't marry your mother. That's the title of mother of the believers. That's all there is to it. So, the narrations say, but obviously, inshallah, this is for another day, this is a topic for another day, but the narration obviously alleges that the Holy Prophet married Aisha when she was 6. Right? And then he was physically in contact with her when she was 9. That's what the narrations say. Right? Inshallah, another day, one day, inshallah, we will prove this. That even in the Sunni narrations, Aisha was a divorcee before the Holy Prophet married her. In Sunni books. By the way. Ala kulli hal, but this is a topic for another day. So, now when it comes to the age in which a woman must be married or can be married, this has to be in accordance to the Holy Quran. And what does the Quran say about this matter? Well, in Surah An-Nisa, the Quran, by the way, this is a disclaimer, the Quran does not mention the age. But the Quran gives a number of characteristics and qualities in Surah An-Nisa. Allah says, وَلَا تُؤْتُوا السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمْ. Do not give a mentally weak child your money. The verses of Surah An-Nisa, which is in this verse is in verse number 6 and 7. So, as you know, Surah An-Nisa begins with the creation of men and women. And by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but Allah created a woman first. Did you know that? Story of Adam? No. You've been lied to for centuries. According to Nchinyane, by the way. So if Batuba Ateka, tell them I said it, inshallah. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة. O mankind, fear your Lord who created you from one soul. Right? وَخَلَقَ مِنْهَا زَوْجَهَا. And he created from her, her partner. Her partner. That's what the Quran says. So personally, if you want to ask me, Adam, isn't it we were sisters? You were not created from the rib of the man. You've been lied to, sorry. There's no such thing. Created her partner, meaning Allah created a woman, from the woman He created the man. We were the ones who were extracted from you. They were not extracted from you. Adam, what's that? But the Quran says we are the children of Adam. The Quran also says that we are the children of Israel. Doesn't it say so? In fact, the Quran, 43 times in the Quran, Allah says, Ya Bani Israel, Ya Bani Israel, Ya Bani Israel. But Adam, I think it's about 8 or 7 times. Ya Bani Adam, Ya Bani Adam, Ya Bani Adam. Only 7 times. So we are the children of Israel, according to the Quran. So if you say that, yes, you are the child of Adam, I say, yes, you are the child of Adam, but you're also the child of Israel. Isn't the Quran talking to the children of Israel when it says, Ya Bani Israel? Then who is it talking to? Isn't it revealed to Muhammad? So Allah is talking to Muhammad, but He's talking to Bani Israel, then who is He talking to? So we are Bani Israel, but we are also Bani Adam. Story of Adam? Adam had parents. No. According to Nchinyane. According to Nchinyane? No, it's according to Nchinyane. He had parents. He had a mother and a father. Okay, who was his mother and who was his father? Who was the mother and the father of Israel? It's nowhere mentioned in the Quran. Who is the mother of Israel? Who is the father of Israel? If you can tell me the father and mother of Israel, I will tell you the mother and father of Adam.
Father of Israel is Yaqub.
No. They say it's Ibrahim. They say it's Ibrahim. No, sorry. They say it's Ishaq. They say it's Ishaq. Ishaq is the father of Yaqub, and Yaqub had the name Israel. Then why does Allah say in the Holy Quran, and Ibrahim, and Israel, and Israel, and Yaqub? Clearly there are two identities of these individuals. They say that Yaqub is the name, or Israel is the name of Yaqub. That's what they say. But there is no evidence in the Quran. In the Bible, Old Testament, definitely there is. That God wrestled with who? With Jacob. After he wrestled him, he defeated God. Jacob defeated God. And then Jacob was called what? Israel in Hebrew, which means the one who wrestles with God. So in the Bible, na'am, I accept 100%. But Quran, no thanks. Anyway, I'm derailing. صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
So it first starts by talking about creation, how mankind was created. After talking about how mankind was created, then it talks about marriage. After talking about marriage, then it talks about orphans, how to raise orphans. So that verse, when it says, and do not give your orphans that are weak, that are mentally weak, their money, do not give them the money. Wait for them to mature and to be able to know how to be financially, what's the word? Literate. Ahsantum. Know how to be financially literate. When the child has grown, now when you're raising orphans, now when the child is financially literate, now give them their money. Then what does the Quran say? وَلَا تُؤْتُوهُنَّ أَمْوَالَهُمْ. Do not give them their money حَتَّى بَلَغُوا النِّكَاحِ, until they reach the age of marriage. Then what does the Quran say? فَإِنْ أَنَسْتُم مِّنْهُمْ رُشْدًا. When you sense that they have rushd, then you give them their money. Meaning the requirement of a child to be married is what? According to the Quran, is financial literacy. The child must be able to know how to manage money. A 9-year-old can do that? 12-year-old couldn't do that? But even an 18-year-old can do that sometimes, in most cases. That's what the Quran says. That the child has to have rushd. In fact, the word rushd is a very deep term, because Allah uses it for a prophet in the Quran. Now, Musa, what does Musa tell Khidr? هل أتبعك أن لا أن تعلمني مما علمت الرشد. Can I follow you so that you teach me something of your rushd, of your guidance? A prophet is telling another prophet. So a child has to reach the level of rushd. Only then can you marry her. That's what the Quran says. I'm not talking about hadith. Hadith, yes, says 6-year-old, no problem. I don't know how a 6-year-old can be a widow. Hadith, don't tell me about hadith. Tell me what the Quran says. So, mashallah, you have daughters. Think about it. This one is the 6th right. The right to bodily health and safety. This basically refers to the verse of hitting. Chapter number 4, verse number 34. The controversial verse. There is a very interesting scholar. He named a paper, an academic scholar, somebody from the university. And this verse, this is the verse that speaks about, and men are the maintainers of women, and women are obedient, and so on and so on. And then after that it says, and those who are obedient and disobedient and rebellious, then reprimand them, or admonish them. And distance yourself from them in bed. Right? Number 3 is, and beat them. That's what the verse says. So the person, when they titled their paper, they said, is this, the title of the paper, is it, she says, is it the verse of abuse or the abuse of a verse? The verse of abuse or the abuse of a verse. So that's what she said. So the verse of the Quran reads as follows. وَاللَّاتِ تَخَافُونَ نُشُوزَهُنَّ فَعِظُوهُنَّ وَهْجُرُهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ وَضْرِبُهُنَّ. And those whom you fear that they might be rebellious from your wives, then admonish them. Right? And distance yourself from them in bed or in household. It's actually household or in the room. Not necessarily bed. In the household or in the bed or in the room. Let's just say bed for now. And then the third one is وَضْرِبُهُنَّ. I don't want to translate it for now. But the word used here in this verb is baraba. Baraba. But the word baraba, mashallah, somebody was saying that, no, I know your expertise when it comes to the Arabic language. The word baraba, not a single place in the Holy Quran. It's mentioned 58 times in the Quran, the word baraba. But not even a single time in the Holy Quran does that word mean hit or beat. Not even once in the Holy Quran. And when we told Musa, strike the river. Strike the river. Is it strike or is it split? Split. ضرب الله مثلا Allah makes darab of a mathal. What is the meaning of darbul mathal? It's to set an example, not to hit an example. وَلِيَضْرِبْنَ بِخُمُرِهِنَّ عَلَى جُيُوبِهِنَّ, and let them make the darb of their khumur over their bosoms. Darb means they have to hit themselves with their veils. Same word that is used, daraba. So what is the meaning of daraba? The Holy Quran says, وَإِذَا ضَرَبْتُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ, and when you make a darb on the land, or when you make darb on the earth, what does it mean? It means when you are traveling. Then you must perform Salatul Qasr. This is the verse of Qasr. When you're traveling, you shouldn't perform 4 rak'ahs. You must perform 2 rak'ahs. That's the verse that speaks about وَإِذَا ضَرَبْتُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ, when you make a darb on the earth. So that word darb does not mean to hit. It means that when you have a problem with your wife, first start by admonishing. Then after that you distance yourself from her. And then you increase the distance. Travel, go somewhere. Go to a hotel. Come to Kwandele, inshallah. Get you another wife. So that is the meaning of daraba. It's got nothing to do with hitting. Number one, the very same person the verse was revealed to never implemented that verse. The Holy Prophet. It's clear that the Holy Prophet has never beaten any of his wives. And it's clear what kind of behavior and treatment and conditions and situations they put him through. They made his life extremely miserable. But we don't hear of a single incident in which he beat them or he hit them. It's not the meaning of darab. According to Islamic jurisprudence, the Quran says what? وَفِي الْجُرُوحِ قِصَاص. And in the wounds, there is qisas. You must pay qisas. And after you hit somebody, forget about your wife. After you hit somebody, you wound them, you have to pay a diya or a qisas. But you are allowed to beat your wife? Where's the logic? Quran is contradicting itself. There is a narration. You remember this narration? A narration that says that the Holy Prophet, there was a companion that was on a camel. The companion was on a camel, on a horse. Camel, horse, or donkey, I don't know. So as the person was traveling, they ran into another friend. When he ran into another friend, and he's like, "Yo, Ez, Kipani, where have you been? Yeah, I haven't seen you in a long time. Hey, no, Ez, Kipani, the wife, how's the children? You know, how's your money going? How's your business going?" and stuff like that. The Holy Prophet came and he's like, "Hey, what's up with you?" He said, "Oh Prophet, oh Messenger of God, what's wrong?" The Holy Prophet said, "Look, if you want to have a conversation with this person, get off your horse and talk to them. But you are inflicting pain on this horse." That's what the Holy Prophet told him. A horse, donkey, camel, I don't know what animal it was. So, but you're allowed to beat your wife? This person who is telling a man to get off your horse, if you want to chat with your friend, then chat away from the horse while you are not on the horse. If you want to ride the horse, ride it. But while chatting, no. But this is the very same person that says we must beat our wives? Islam is real. I hope, inshallah, you heard what I said. Today we are remembering Lady Zainab alayha salam. Lady Zainab, she was a woman that was an extremely strong and extremely powerful woman. Extremely powerful. You know, there is a narration that once I've heard. They say that when the Holy Prophet in the Battle of Uhud, when Hamza passed away, as you know, Hamza was extremely mutilated. One of the things that happened to Hamza is that his liver was cut out, and then they ate the liver. Some of you have heard of this historical event. After Hind ate the liver, The Holy Prophet was commanding people to cry for Hamza. I'm sure we know the story. After everybody was crying for Hamza, Safiya, the sister of Hamza, was asking, where's my brother? I want to see my brother. I heard my brother passed away. The Holy Prophet said, no, you can't see Hamza. She said, why, O Prophet? She said, no sister can see how his brother is killed like that. So she said that, look, Safiya, you can't see how Hamza was killed. Now we're going to go into depth now. If Safiya, sister of Hamza, couldn't see how Hamza was extremely mutilated, and Hussein, the horses, their hooves were sharpened, swords went inside the body. You must remember that more than tens of swords, more than 50 swords went into the body of Imam Hussein. Spears went to the body of Imam Hussein. Arrows went into the body of Imam Hussein. You must ask yourself, really, who is Zainab? Who is Zainab? So, the Holy Prophet, for instance, one of the things that we hear, he teaches us that is how a person is supposed to treat a sister when they see their body, the body of their brother being extremely mutilated. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, in his last moments, after he was struck on the head by Ibn Muljim, he went to the house, but Hassan and Hussein were carrying him. As Hassan and Hussein were carrying him, he walked. When he was about to reach the house, he stopped. Because he couldn't walk. Then after that, he said that, look, from now on, let me walk on my own. He told Hassan and Hussein, I'll walk on my own now. Then they asked, oh father, why are you doing that? Why do you want to walk on your own? He said, I don't want Zainab to see me the way I'm going to go in that house. That's Ali ibn Abi Talib. What is Imam Ali hiding from Lady Zainab that he does not want her to see? What is it that he's hiding? Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, before he was about to die, in his last moments, he's on the deathbed. As you know, he was poisoned by his wife. And among the things that were happening to Imam al-Hassan when he was about to die is that he was actually vomiting some of his organs. He was vomiting some of his liver. He was vomiting his blood. Imam al-Hussein is standing there next to Imam al-Hassan. And then Imam Hassan says, hide this blood, hide this liver. Then Imam Hussein asks, Ya Aba Muhammad, oh Imam Hassan, why are you hiding? He says, I don't want Zainab to see. What is it that Imam Hassan is hiding from Zainab? Why is it that Imam Hassan is hiding it from Zainab? So Imam Hassan, like Imam Ali, is also hiding something. Because they know that the day of Ashura and the land of Karbala is coming. They know that what Zainab is about to see, وَمَا رَأَيْتُ إِلَّا جَمِيلًا, what I saw is nothing but beauty. There's going to be a lot of mutilation, and there's going to be a lot of tragedy, and there's going to be a lot of pain. She knows, and he knows, that look, when Zainab is about to be in Karbala, the head of Abu Abdullah is going to be severed from him. He knows that on that day, the body of Imam al-Hussein will be filled with so many arrows. He knows that on that day, the body of Imam al-Hussein is going to be so extremely trampled upon by 10 horses, which hooves are sharpened, that his body would be very difficult and impossible to identify. Do you know that the body of Imam al-Hussein was not possible to identify the body of Imam al-Hussein. And that is why Imam al-Sajjad is the only person that could bury Imam al-Hussein. Why? Because he's a ma'soom. Only a ma'soom knows that this part of the body belongs to Hussein. Only a ma'soom that this part of the body belongs to this person. Only Imam Sajjad could bury the people that were killed on the day of Karbala and the day of Ashura. That body was so extremely mutilated. If you go to Karbala, some of you, may Allah grant you the ziyarah of Abu Abdullah. There is a place which is situated, that is the hand of Abbas, which is on the eastern side of the shrine of Abbas. And on the western side of the shrine of Abbas, there is a place for the hand of Abbas. And then there is a place for the body of Abbas. That is how much mutilation happened on that day. You know what they did? They didn't only mutilate Imam al-Hussein. Did you know that they actually took the 6-month-old baby and they put it on the spear? That's one of the things according to Maqatil. The Maqatil say they took the 6-month-old baby and they put it on top of the spear. This was after it was struck by the arrow. You know what that means? That means that actually, when Imam al-Hussein or when Imam al-Sajjad was about to bury the child, they had to actually look for the child, because the child was actually mutilated as well. And the child was buried on the chest of Imam al-Hussein. Imam al-Hussein, do you know what happened after the child was struck on the neck with an arrow? Imam al-Hussein did not remove the arrow. You know why? Because it was impossible. If he removed the arrow, the neck of the baby is so delicate and it's so soft, it would have been broken. So Imam al-Hussein could not rip it out. He could not take it out, so he left it. Only Imam al-Sajjad could deal with that matter. There was so much mutilation. There was so much mutilation, but this is the beginning of this tragedy. This is the beginning of the musibah. The beginning of the musibah begins after Imam al-Hussein. Because apparently, according to narrations, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam tells Imam al-Hussein that, Hussein, this is what's going to happen to you in Karbala. Your head is going to be decapitated. Will you accept this? Imam Hussein says, yes. Hussein, your body is going to be filled with arrows. Do you accept it? I accept. Hussein, your companions are going to be killed. Do you accept it? I accept it. Your son, Ali Asghar, is going to be killed. Do you accept it? I accept it. Your 6-month-old baby is going to be killed. Do you accept? I accept it. Imam Hussein accepts everything. Then Ali ibn Abi Talib asks him, oh Hussein, they are going to take the women and the girls and the young children, they're going to take them as slaves. Narrations say that Imam Hussein said, he kept quiet for a very long time. Then Hussein, listen to what Imam Hussein said. He said, will I be dead or will I be alive when that happens? Then Imam Ali tells him that you will be dead by that time. Imam Hussein says, then I accept it. That is the tragedy of Imam al-Hussein. What is it that Lady Zainab saw? You know what they did? They kicked the women. They beat the women. They whipped the women. They spat on the women. This was when they were celebrating that they just killed the grandson of the Holy Prophet. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdillah.